And we're on.
Hello and welcome to Wine, Whiskey, and Words. I'm Daniel.
I'm Brad.
If you've listened to our podcast before, welcome back. We're glad to have you back. If you're new to the podcast, each episode we have a drink. We talk about the drink, share where it came from, if we know it, talk a bit about it, try it, taste it, talk about it, and then we move on. Share something that happened between the last episode and this one that we think was interesting or just worth noting. And then we talk about a topic of the week. Usually the week before we've prepped the topic, so we try to be a little prepared. Don't always nail it, but we do our best.
Oh, I do my best.
Yeah, he does his best. My best is what it is. So with that said, let's begin. Brad, what happened that was interesting before? Oh wait, I'm getting ahead of ourselves. I was going to start with the drink.
I want the drink.
You want the drink?
Give me
the
drink.
I have to give a little backstory here.
Okay.
Because it ties into the one of my songs. So I'm going to give you a little backstory, and then I'll tie it in later to my song.
Okay.
So I go to Nassau in the Bahamas somewhat regularly, and I found this Irish pub that I really like. And one time I was there, I met this guy who works for the police department in Nassau. We had a great time just hanging out, drinking whiskey, and the next time I came to visit, I show up, and he hands me 2 bottles of rum. And he tells me, hey, so this is from the Bacardi family. They can't use the Bacardi name because they sold that to the major corporation, blah, 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 blah. But this is from the Bacardi family. They actually operate a distillery here on the island, and this is their rum. It's hard to get. And so what I actually have 2 rums. I have a bottle of their XO. J.A.B is the brand. You can look it up. J.A.B rum. It's made with real sugar cane. Their XO is aged 8, 9, and 10 years in American white oak barrels and blended. And then I have a bottle of their EXO rum, which is also made from sugar cane, distilled from fermented sugar cane molasses. It's single barrel, and it's matured in white oak barrels for 12 years. So There's not a lot that I can give you as far as the origin and the history, because they're very quiet on their website. But again, what I know is I was told by a guy in a bar that the Bacardi family's involved. So we're going to give it a shot. So I brought out the fancy glassware.
Wow.
We got some fancy snifters
here.
here.
Fancy.
And I think we're going to start with the XO.
I think that would be a good choice.
So we're going to pop this open. Now, I'm not always a rum drinker. I tend to find it too sweet most of the time.
Yeah, I'm not normally a rum drinker myself.
But I find that the higher end rums tend to be really nice. So give that a shot. See what you think. It smells like rum. It smells exactly like a dark rum.
Well, it's a lot of caramel and vanilla.
Yeah. I almost get like a butterscotchy taste to it.
Little bit of a fig.
Yeah, I feel like when you taste it, you get a lot of that fig. You get a lot of fruit flavor to it. It's very rich. That was one of the things they said, was it was made in the English tradition. Apparently in the islands, the rums have different traditions. There's the Spanish tradition, and then there's the French tradition, which is more of an agricultural rum. I don't know what that means. But this is the English tradition, which focuses on that dark, rich flavor. So
I feel it first comes on as very light, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the finish does stick with you for probably, I'd say about 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, it rests with you, but it rests well. It's not as sweet and syrupy as I was worried it was going to be.
No, I thought it was going to be, based on the nose, I thought it was going to be a little bit thicker than what it actually is.
It's very nice. All right, do we want to give the EXO a try?
Sure.
All right. Fresh glass. This way we can have options.
And I can drink through this whole episode.
And the EXO is noticeably darker. You can kind of see. So I like I said, it's got a beautiful color to it. So I'm kind of excited about this one. Pop that one open. All right.
Now, this one is a bit more closed.
Yeah, the nose is not as strong. Like I was expecting it to really kick you in the face when
Yeah,
you
no.
with the smell.
Not at all.
Definitely sweeter. You get a lot more of that molasses out of that one.
It's a bit of like a cola,
Yeah, I can taste a little cola in there.
little Dr Pepper.
I like it. Like I said, I was a little worried
I like
because
both of them.
because I had never heard of or tried these prior to being given these bottles. I was a little worried and thought we might need a mixer, but I could
No,
actually sip on this.
this
This
is
is delightful.
something. This is a rum that I would just sip on its own without anything else. I mean, I might put a splash of like cola or
Yeah.
something in it, but
That's one of the things I've found is, growing up, you drink a lot of rum in cocktails. And in the islands, you drink a lot of rum in cocktails. But there's a lot of good rum out there that you can just sit and sip on. You just have to look for it.
right.
So, well, cool. All right. Well, with that being done, I guess we can now move on to something interesting that happened between the last episode and this one.
Well, I just found out like just a few days ago. I mean, obviously, I work at Cooper's Hawk. I've been with them in November. Will be 3 years. So they just asked me to become the wine club facilitator. Yeah, the person that was doing it, she was given a lot of other things to do, retail and whatnot. And I, so they asked me if I would mind doing it. I said, as long as I don't have to do the bulletin board, I'm like, I'm fine because I love training. I love talking about the wines. I love helping our guests as well as helping our team members, in understanding the wine club more. So I think as of next month, I'll be doing that.
Have I just missed the bulletin board in all the times I've been there?
You're not an employee.
Okay, well, I didn't know if
So
the
you're not
bulletin
allowed-
board was like some
No, you're
secret
not allowed
member
in the
thing.
back. You're not allowed
Oh,
in the back,
okay, okay,
so-
it's in the back. All right, well,
So
congratulations, man.
Well,
that's
thank you. Thank
incredible
you.
news.
So
That's awesome. I
but
know
it's fun.
you.
I mean, I like helping people, so it's a natural for me.
Well, I know you love the wine, and I know you love sharing what you know with people
Yeah.
who ask.
Oh,
So,
by the way, that the wine of the month for this month, holy f!
that good.
So the Cote de Rhone Rouge. So I enjoyed it one day, and I corked it, and I tried it the next, and it was even better the next day. So this is it's a must get. So I'm going to be getting probably a case of that next month.
Brad, I think you just tell me the wine of the month is always really great, so I buy more bottles.
I do not do that.
Okay, yeah, all
There
right.
are months. There are wines that I know that you and Jamie enjoy, but I do not, and I will not be buying a case of that when it comes out again.
Okay.
But anyways,
All right, we're going to
so
go back.
what's going on with you?
So really nothing with me. Work's been work, so it's exciting. I've been knocking it out of the park. But my something interesting is a little more recent, and I'm not going into politics. I'm just mentioning because this is politically related. I thought it was a funny timing thing. So yesterday or 2 days ago, there was a story that came out that the Ten Commandments now have to be posted in all classrooms in Louisiana public schools.
Yes.
And I know this has gone for years, and everybody has their opinions on this, but I thought it was really funny because on the exact same day, and they had to have planned this and known this was coming, on the exact same day the bill was signed, the Lincoln Project, and if you know them, you know their leanings. I'm not going to go into it. Released an ad about a certain very prominent politician who has a tendency to violate the Ten Commandments, and it just goes through the Ten Commandments with quotes from him basically saying how he violated the Ten Commandments. And I thought it was really just amusing timing and really funny commentary on our entire situation here in the U.S.
So what you're saying is that information really grabbed you.
It did. I just thought it was hysterically funny. It grabbed me right in a sensitive spot. Yes.
Yes.
Very, very much so. So anyway, moving on.
All right.
We've talked about the drink, and because the drink tonight ties into my first song, I would like to begin our topic of the week.
Sure, but I'm going to introduce it a little bit.
Please do.
So I'm actually still wearing a Red Hot Chili Pepper shirt. Went to their show like 2 years ago, but wore this obviously because of the topic. So I chose this topic because I wanted to talk about songs that were important to us, either that they had meaning or meaning to us personally, or that we enjoyed the meaning behind the song itself. And that being said,
All right.
kick it off.
Well, so unfortunately, our legal advisor says that we cannot play the songs due to copyright concerns. So we're going to have to do a little singing tonight. I'm sorry to all of our listeners. We're going to do our best to limit it.
We really don't have to sing.
Okay. Well,
I will be printing the lyrics in the show notes.
Yeah.
So you will be able to see all the lyrics, and I'm going to do my best to give links to YouTube, to different sites that might play the songs for you as well.
So, some background. When I was a kid, I rode around with my dad a lot. He was in steel construction, so he's always going to job sites. So anytime there's a holiday or summer, he sometimes would say, "Hey, you want to go for a ride? We're going to Georgia." I was like, "Sure, let's go to Georgia." We get to go to Shoney's and whatever. It was just a nice day with my dad. And my dad absolutely loved Jimmy Buffett. He bought the massive CD box set of every song Jimmy Buffett had made. And a song that has always stuck with me, and it's kind of gotten me through dark days sometimes, is Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes. And I thought it was a very fitting drink to bring some rum tonight because there's a line in there where he starts out and he's talking about how he was thinking about um, all the things that have changed, all the things that have moved on in his life that are no longer around. And he says, I didn't ponder the question too long. I got hungry and went out for a bite. Ran into a chum with a bottle of rum, and we wound up drinking all night. And so I thought I'd bring 2 bottles of rum because, we might need them if we're going to drink all night.
I'm already feeling a little bit, yeah.
But anyway,
this is good.
So what I love most about this song is not just the connection with my dad, but it's really the main chorus line, which is so meaningful because life, in the immortal words of Ferris Bueller, life comes at you pretty fast, and things change, things get away from us, and Jimmy said, changes in latitude, changes in attitude, nothing remains quite the same. With all of our running and all of our cunning, if we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane. And I think that is one of those thoughts that really can get you through some dark days. Like if you're having a bad day, just find something to laugh at. Turn on some comedy. Just get something to laugh at, and it'll brighten your day. So
you don't always have to be serious about debilitating events. Sometimes the best thing for our soul is to just laugh about it.
Exactly. Crack a joke. Step out of your comfort zone that says, "Oh, I'm supposed to feel this way. I'm supposed to act this way," and just get a giggle in. So, but that's my first song.
All right. Well, it just so happens that my first song also has to do with my father. So, I got my taste in music, like everyone else, I think, from the music that was influenced by what my parents played. And a certain artist, Melanie, I used to play, or my dad used to play the album Candles in the Rain incessantly, and then so did I. A lot of people of our ages may not be familiar with her, but you guarantee you've heard one of her songs, which was prominent in the movie Boogie Nights. Yeah. I've got a brand new
There were quite a few prominent things in Boogie Nights.
Okay, yeah. But the song, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. You've got a brand new key. But that's not the song that I chose. The song that I chose is called Ring the Living Bell. And a little snippet of the lyrics that I want to read to you, and then I'm going to tell you a story as well. Been celebrating way too long, and I've been drinking, I'm ashamed to tell. Still feel thirsty, gotta want to drink the water from the well. Still feel thirsty, gotta want to drink and ring the living bell. What it says to me is that we just have to live life. We have to do what's enjoyable to us. As long as it's not hurting someone else, just live life. Now, the story I have to tell is so this year it'll be 25 years since my father passed away, and it's actually 25 years in about a month. So so what happened is he passed away from cancer, and when he passed away in the hospital, I said, "Screw this, I'm gone." Went back to the house and sat at the table and was just reading the entertainment section of the newspaper. So I saw that Melanie was going to be performing that next night. I've got to go. So she was going to be performing. My parents lived in Miami. This happened in Broward County, Fort Lauderdale, roughly area, at a Borders bookstore. So that next night, I went. I waited there for about an hour, hour and a half. Then I watched the performance, and it was Melanie, who, by the way, passed away within the last month.
Oh, wow.
So her, believe it was one of her daughters and her son performed, and then I waited in line for another hour, hour and a half, and got her to sign the album, which you have probably seen in my apartment. It says "In Remembrance of Arthur," and of course,
I have seen that.
I basically had said in my mind what I was gonna say to Melanie when I got there, and all it came out was, but finally got it out, and then she did that, and so I thought that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So,
It's kind of cool that we both landed with our first song being a song about our fathers. And I'm gonna try not to choke up. I actually do have one more dad song, but first,
I've got it.
Oh,
I'm going to interject.
okay, go for it.
So my brother thought it would be a great idea that we give a little bit of interjections of maybe songs that are good drinking songs or songs that involve alcohol. And I'm not going to give a lot of story to these. I'm just going to say, hey, check this song out. It's a good song. Listen to it. And the first song is DUI Friday by Fishbone.
So Brad has just introduced me to Fishbone, and I could not tell you what this song sounds like, but I will be checking it out after this episode, and I hope you will too.
All right.
All right. So Brad said, as long as you're not hurting someone, do what you need to do, live your life. But while I'm not suggesting we hurt someone, sometimes it does feel good when someone who hurt us isn't doing so great. So my next song is, I think, the ultimate FU breakup song. So I, years ago, went through a divorce. I've remarried now. I'm much happier. Everybody says he's much happier. I'm so glad. But the ultimate FU breakup song, in my opinion, is called Gives You Hell by the All-American Rejects. And
I think I know this song.
It became very popular. They were not a one-hit wonder, but this was definitely by far their biggest hit. And one of my favorite lines of this song is where the guy, he's rocking out, saying, I hope it gives you hell when I'm doing so well. You know, all these things. He's going through the things when you see my face. I hope it gives you hell. And then he stops. And he says, truth be told, I miss you. Truth be told, I'm lying. And I just think it's so awesome because you just want to rub it in someone's face when they've hurt you. And I get it. You're supposed to be nice, all that stuff. But sometimes it feels a little good to be like, hey, I'm doing great. I hope it gives you help. And I'm going to go one more line from this song. And then I'm going to mention one more thing. There's a line that says, if you find a man that's worth a damn and treats you well, then he's a fool. You're just as well. I hope it gives you hell. And, we've all had those breakups where either a man or a woman or whatever made us feel that bad. Where like, you know what? Anybody who's ever with you is just a fool. And like I said, to me, this is the best breakup song, including towards the very end. there's a section where you have, instead of the singer singing the song, a whole crowd is singing the chorus, and they're just going on. When you see my face, hope gives you hell. It's just amazing. So yeah, that was one of my favorites. Again, a little mean, a little hateful, but there you go.
I'm gonna recommend another song to you.
Okay.
Just because it reminds me of that. It's called Your Dictionary, and
Okay.
it's by a group, another one of my favorite groups called XTC, which I will be covering one of their songs here. But it's basically Andy Partridge, the lead singer. Um, he wrote this song after his divorce, and it's basically saying, "Hey, this is this word. This is how you make it mean." Like Kare, pronounced as kick, or basically it's just how abusive the relationship was. But at the end of the song, it becomes very melodic, and then says, "But you know what? What's done is done. Let's move on."
Okay. I'll have to check that out. Thank
You
you.
have to check it out.
All right.
All right, my next one. I'm just going to go in order here. So it's another one that my father used to play, and very well known, very controversial at times artist called Cat Stevens.
Go for it. I'm curious. Go for it.
But the song that I chose, I think, is very apropos as well, called Peace Train,
Okay.
which he did remake in the last 3, 4, 5 years for his new album, because for many years he stopped making music. So, but I'm going to read a little bit of the lyrics. Uh, Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be someday it's going to come. Because out on the edge of darkness, there rides the peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. So, for me, there's so much divisiveness in the world, and very specifically in this country. And it's a lot of, hey, these the left is doing this or the right is doing this. But as far as, not to interject a lot of politics in this, but anytime that you have someone that's going, all the people on this side is doing this, to me, I kind of shut down a little bit, because it's not about the entirety of the whole. It's about the individual, and it's about taking ownership for what they say, what they believe, what they're doing.
So I like that. I agree completely. Um, which is really going to be awkward when I mention my next song.
Oh, great.
Because while I do love the song that says "F you to your ex," I really love this next song because it in high school, when I was young, um, my friends introduced me to the Violent Femmes.
Oh, God.
And they have a song that, instead of the "F you" breakup song, is the "F the world" song, in my opinion. And when you're at high school, you kind of hate the world because high school kids are jerks to each other, just in general. So
Yeah.
my next song is "Kiss Off" by the Violent Femmes. And I love it because the refrain is, "You can all just kiss off into the air. Behind my back, I could see them stare. They'll hurt me bad, but I won't mind. They'll hurt me bad. They do it all the time." And, the whole theme of this song is just rage against anybody who messes with you and just anger. But it's done in a really just energetic and like, "F you, I'm strong, I don't need you" attitude. And I think it's just a great song. And my favorite part of it is there's this bridge where he stops and it slows down. You get this rhythm, and he goes, "Take one, 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 because you left me, and two, two, and he goes on, and then he gets to 8, and he goes, I forget what 8 was for, but 9, and it's just awesome. It's just an amazing song. It's fun but angry at the same time. And if you're ever mad at just anything in your life, somebody's giving you a hard time, something's got you down, crank up some violent Femmes, and I think it'll brighten your day.
I like the concept of that song, and I think I've heard it before. I think I have.
We'll probably have a music session after this, I'm sure.
There we go. There we go. Well, now for another alcohol-related song, Beer Can by Beck.
Oh.
Beck. So, and I've got a little story with that one. So I think it was around 1990, probably 1997, something like that. And the Loser had already come out by Beck. And I'm visiting my brother in Los Angeles. And we're in a record store. Not like you see those anymore. But I'm looking around. My brother's in another area. And my brother comes up to me probably 10, 15 minutes after we've been there. He goes, did you see Beck? I'm like, no, where? Oh, he's gone by now. I'm like,
thanks for the heads up.
Right, yeah. But I will tell you this. Because of what my brother does, because he works in Hollywood, I've learned to respect those personalities. So I don't go and approach. If I see famous people in public, I'm not going to approach them. I might just go, thank you, I appreciate it, but I'm not going to ask for an autograph, ask for pictures, things like that, because they're hounded constantly. So, all right, on to my next one. And it is, so, Down in the Cockpit by XTC.
Okay.
So, XTC is a group that I discovered in the late 80s. They're more well-known for their song Dear God, which created a ruckus, which I won't go into now. But, so, I'm going to read a little bit of this. So, all the way through history, man, machine, no mystery. All the way through history, girl have the brain to act like the weaker sex. Down in the cockpit, man need the woman to pull him right out of it. So, what this song is about is all this time, women have been acting like the weaker sex and letting the guys do their thing. But it's gotten to the point where women need to take charge. It's their time to rule. But it says later on in the song, basically, don't mess up. Because if you do, the guys will take it back over. But I'm not going to disagree with that. I think that for too long, men have dominated over certain areas where there is no need to, where we need to have more of, different minds giving input.
So I have to agree. In the business world, we have a lot of just amazing women that work with us. We got a lot of amazing men too, but I absolutely love it when I see a strong woman or even a not so strong woman just stepping up and living her journey and speaking with strength and saying, look, I know this. I am taking care of this. I know this. Don't argue with me. I know what I'm talking about. Because for so long, I think, I'm thinking decades ago and probably even more recent than I want to admit, women were told, shut up, men are talking. And that's not okay. That's just not okay. And if we had done that at any of the places I've worked, we would have missed out on a lot of great ideas. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that battle still goes on. And you're right. Anytime a female makes a mistake, somebody wants to jump on her. And often, sadly, it's other females jumping on her saying, hey, oh, look at her. She's this, she's that, whatever. And it's kind of sad.
I think you have to take everyone at the quality of their character and not at labels.
Agreed. Agreed.
So what's your next song?
My next song, it's kind of funny that you went with Cat Stevens, but I went with a Cat Stevens song, and this one is
okay.
one that every time I hear it, I don't listen to it often, but every time I hear it, it makes me want to cry. Good cry. But it's called Father and Son.
Damn it! That's the other one I would have chosen. Damn
So
it! I knew you were gonna say. I knew it.
That's why I gave you the look. I was like, oh God. So
it's not time to make a change.
yeah, like it's just a beautiful song about the need for parents to let go and the experience of having to do that. And my daughter just came home from her freshman year at college, and I'm constantly having to remind myself to let go. And one of my favorite lines, it comes early in the song, and it's just, look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. And, feeling happy. And then he goes on to say, if you want, go get married. If you want to do this, go do it. But you have to make these decisions. And then at the very end, he says, and I know that I have to go away. And that is just so hard as a parent, sending your kid off in the world and saying, you have to make the decisions now. I have to go away and you're taking care of it. And, it makes you think about your parents and all the things they taught you. And it's just it's a real tearjerker. And I'm going to stop now before I cry.
Long time ago when I tried to make everything about myself, when my brother was going to get married, I had actually emailed Cat Stevens and said that I was going to sing that song at my brother's wedding. Of course, I didn't. I think I sang like 2 small lyrics of "Love and Marriage," but I mean, it's like, but I mean, realistically, I don't have the voice. I have a decent voice at times, depending on the song, but my sister-in-law's voice is a hell of a lot better than mine, and as well as one of her best friends, Nikki Boyer, who is a TV personality as well as an amazing singer herself.
So you had some backup vocals?
No, I didn't want to. No, let them. They're the singers. I'm just this schlub. So okay, so another alcohol-related song, "Tall Boy" by Har Mar Superstar.
I have never heard of that.
It's
either of those things.
So Har Mar Superstar, he's an amazing personality. He looks like he could be a double for Ron Jeremy.
Okay.
But he's an amazing singer, and he wrote that song for Britney Spears.
Okay.
But Britney Spears' management said no.
Wow.
This is like 20 years ago or something. And it basically is, you could go say, I'm talking about a beer or I'm talking about a guy. but it's a fun song. But anyways, I didn't want to go into too much into that, but that's that.
I want to pause and just talk about how Britney Spears' manager said that's too far after some of her music videos and other songs. But anyway, we'll just move on.
Yeah, I don't know. But so my next song is by another one of my favorite groups, Fishbone. And the song is called "Everyday Sunshine." And I've mentioned it many times over the years. The lyrics go, "I wish every day the sun would shine, take me to another place in my mind, where everything is beautiful, and no wants or needs, nor sign of greed could rule our soul. How I wish everyday sunshine." And it's just a pure freaking song. I mean, it just speaks to me. It just puts me in a great mood every time that I listen to it. I can't say enough good things about this particular song.
Okay.
It makes me smile, man.
Hey, you know what? A good song that makes you smile is worth gold.
I think you just need sometimes you just need positivity.
Yeah. And for some reason, all of my songs went really dark. I had a longer list, but the songs I really love are the dark ones.
I've got a dark one next.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, this next one is not really dark. I actually think it's probably the ultimate ballad um, in modern times, and it's one of my favorite songs just ever, no matter what. But I want to give some backstory to this. So when I was in middle school, I was not the amazing, awesome, cool guy that you see sitting here today. I was a little nerdy, and I got
Is there someone else here?
I got really into Meatloaf, and the
You know what? You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so I got really into Meatloaf, and I was very into the "I Would Do Anything for Love" song, and
I won't do that.
yeah. So anyway, but I got into Meatloaf as an artist and learned some of his other songs are even better than that. In particular, this one, "Paradise" by the Dashboard Light.
Well, I remember every little thing as if it happened only yesterday.
It's amazing. So this song has so many ups and downs. It starts out with a very like 1950s like jive vibe, like you're going on. Brad sang the opening lines, and basically it tells the story of these two young people, barely 17 and barely dressed, in the backseat of a car, and they're making out and they're just having a great time. And they go through, and it keeps going back to, though it's cold and lonely in the deep dark night, I can see paradise by the dashboard light. And that's the refrain. It keeps going back to that. But at one point, it reaches this high point where he's going for it. He's going for home. And they pitch into like old-timey baseball broadcast style about him rounding second base and going into third. And he gets almost to home.
Stop right there.
And the woman goes, "Stop right there! I gotta know right now." And she wants him to say he'll love her forever. And so then you have this back and forth of her saying, "I gotta know right now, will you love me forever?" And him saying, "Baby, baby, let me sleep on it. Baby, baby, let me sleep on it." And it increases in rhythm and everything. And finally, he breaks down. And he starts praying and saying, like, "Oh, I love you till the end of time. I love you till the end of time." And the very end of the song is so amazing because he goes, "So now I'm praying for the end of time." And it goes on, and it's just unbelievably fun. It's kind of a dark story, but I remember being in high school and chasing girls, and I didn't experience that particular moment, but it's a fun story. And it's a great song, lots of fun, and it always makes me smile when I hear it on the radio. So that's my last song, Brad. What's your last song?
For the end of time, that's all that I can do. Ooh, ooh.
I told you there'd be
Praying
singing.
for the end of time, so I can spend my life with. I really freaking love that song.
It's an amazing song.
I do. But before that, I'm going to mention another song. This song is just really one of the all-time drinking songs. Can you guess which one I'm thinking of?
Margaritaville? I don't know.
But you're close.
Okay.
Why Don't We Get Drunk?
Oh.
By Jimmy Buffett.
Yes. Yep. That's a good one.
That's a must-have.
It's a very good one. Honestly, Buffett's got a lot of good drinking songs, just in general.
Yeah, he does. All right. So a little bit towards the darkness path, and the shirt that I'm wearing today, Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's a song called "Knock Me Down," and that came out in late '80s, early '90s. That was on their Mother's Milk album, and it basically I'm going to say a little bit of the lyrics first, and then I'll tell you the story behind it. Never soon to be through. Being cool too much too soon. Too much for me, too much for you. You're going to lose in time. Don't be afraid to show your friends that you hurt inside. Pain's part of life. Don't hide behind your false pride. It's a lie. If you see me getting mighty, if you see me getting high, knock me down. I'm not bigger than life. And so, what inspired Kiedis to write this is the guitarist before Frusciante was Hillel Slovak. And Hillel overdosed on heroin, which is something that several other members dealt with over the years. But because of that, and they lost one of their best friends, it inspired him to write the song. And to me, it's just, you know, don't get into these obsessions if it's going to destroy everything else around you. And also, if you see a friend of yours in a hard time, don't be afraid to say something. Recognize it and be there to help and support them.
So I going a little darker, unfortunately, but it needs to be said. I have a friend who lived with me for a time years ago, and she's now over a decade clean, and she still has her moments where things are going bad, and she feels like using, and that is a struggle people go through every day. And it took a lot of people saying, "I'm done with you," or "You've got to stop," and all these things before she could break that habit. So it's so true. When you see your friends struggling, no matter what it is, even if you don't, just check on them. Check on your friends. After Robin Williams died, everybody said, "Wow, he was such a source of joy and happiness. What happened?" And my buddy called me just to see how I was doing. He said, "Man, we got to check on our funny friends." And it's so true. Like we live in this time where social media makes us think that we're connected, but we never talk to our friends. We're just looking at their pictures, and it can be a really lonely existence for people. So yeah, I mean, if you see that friend getting out of hand, call them out on it. They may hate you in that moment, but they'll thank you eventually, hopefully.
It's funny that you said that because the ending lyrics on that song were, "It's so lonely when you don't even know yourself. It's so lonely."
Yeah, too true.
So, and then the final little sequitur song that I have here is, of course, the closing song for all bars, "Last Call for Alcohol" by Billy Joe Shaver.
That wasn't what I was going with. I was going with "Closing Time."
Oh yeah, actually, but I think this is the new one.
One last call for alcohol. So finish your whiskey or beer.
There
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So I guess there's not really anything else to say about that topic. We covered our songs and then some.
Yeah, there were so many other songs that I would have loved to include, but I felt I really had to go with the ones that called to me the most. I really loved your choices, especially obviously Cat Stevens and Meatloaf.
Yeah, man, got to get some Meatloaf in there.
God.
So I guess it's time for next week's topic.
I don't know this yet, I'm about to find out.
I'm gonna go a little open-ended, and it's gonna be like the songs somewhat.
If I don't like it, I'm bringing Malort.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll have my emergency wine just in case. But no. Next week's topic, I wanted to do something interesting. Things that have fallen from grace. Just anything that was really popular, really big, and now is either just gone, or has just maybe not as popular, or maybe got in some trouble, maybe did something funny. This week,
Pogs?
Well, just this week, we saw an interesting thing with Justin Timberlake. I don't know if all of our listeners are fans of Justin Timberlake, but he had his moment, and he was top of the world, really. And this week, he was at a bar and started just walking around drinking other people's drinks, got a DUI, and the arresting officer was so young, had no idea when he said, "This is really going to ruin the tour." the officer's like, "What tour?" and had no idea who he was arresting. So like when you think about somebody that's fallen from grace, that's an example. But it could be like
Wow.
a food that you once ate and now is not around, or a place you used to go that's abandoned now, or whatever. Just, I just think it's going to be some interesting things that we can come up with, that things that have fallen from grace.
All right. Anything else you're looking forward to in the next coming weeks?
Um, Honestly, I'm going home to see my parents this weekend, so I'm a little excited about that. My daughter's got some things she wants to do up there, so that's exciting. But honestly, I've got some big things at work going on, and I'm just excited for them to wrap up.
Awesome. Well, I gotta say, I applaud the choices. I know that you were a little bit worried about this, but I think this is really nice.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I might have some more after this episode. And everyone, we hope you enjoyed the podcast. We really work hard on these episodes and try to think of things that'll be entertaining and fun. And we hope you come back for the next one.
All right. And then always remember that you can leave comments on the different formats. You can also email us at winewhiskeyandword@gmail.com. It's not words because that one was taken. So winewhiskeyandword@gmail.com. We welcome all and every input, and we're just trying to make a better show for you.
You can also check us out. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we do have a website, winewhiskeyandwords.com, and it is a work in progress, so please be patient with us.
We'll get it done by the end of next year.
Sure. Maybe.
All right.
Catch you next time.
See ya.